Hello, it's Colette from the Sacred Rose Temple. I wanted to share some things that I've been processing and musing over within the sphere of my psychospiritual work and working with individuals in different places, such as, I've just been in a yoga class this morning teaching and in sessions with people this week, also within women within my groups, and most recently on retreats, and just pondering the whole um, subject of elements, because I've been working with elements for a long time. Many years ago, the work with elements started within my shamanic work, and it continued within the framework of yoga, and definitely still works with me with working with individuals in trying to balance psyche and allowing people to understand themselves. So I wanted to just put some things towards you that might help you. So we're all made up of the elements earth, fire, water, and air, and the beautiful element of ether that kind of ascends us, as I believe. And to question into the elements within us really gives us a good understanding of who we are as well. So, for example, within those elements, which are your strongest? So for me, earth and fire are my strongest elements. I'm someone that is very grounded and very earthed most of the time. I'm quite a fiery, passionate person. I find heat and fire one of the things I like to work with. But I'm not too uh, good with the water element. I'm not that great at flowing. I really like deep structure, and I am less acquainted comfortably with air because I like to be on the ground. My feet like to be on the ground. And this has affected me throughout my life, how I navigate through those elements. So it's worth posting the question to yourself: which are my strongest elements and why? And which are my weakest and why? And that will start to give you some understanding of behaviors, of your connection to the elements too. So, for example, I don't have a fear of water. I used to participate in deep sea diving and water sports such as sailing, and was a sea cadet in my younger years, but deep water has a fear for me of the unknown, of the beings in the water. And I've done deep dives in and swims in Hawaii where kind of like the dolphins are coming up, and I have this big thing saying, oh, I'm out of my comfort zone here, this isn't my land, so to speak. So that's always had an impact on me. And it was last night in bed after I'd done one of my druid practices where I was asked to imagine a deep sea of water and to float on that. And it just didn't feel comfortable for me. I was searching for a smaller body of water where I could comfortably navigate. And that had lots of, indications to me about the unknown and letting go and vulnerability and trust, and all of those things came up within that one little process. So if you were to sit down, for example, and write your elements down and the qualities and those that you fear more than others, it would give you some kind of understanding, self understanding about yourself. But Mother Nature, as we know, is made up of those very elements that we are. And this is where our unity consciousness comes in that we are Mother Earth and she is us. And when we're seeing places in our world being affected by the weather, then the same questions come up for me. I have had some really upsetting news from a friend that is in Hawaii at the moment with the fires in Maui, who has lost everything, and the whole of that island is struggling with these fires at the moment, where the heat is intense and the wind is also very intense. And I send in my prayers out and hope you can all join with me in extending prayer and love out to those people who are currently suffering, not being able to really understand fully what that must be like for them to have such loss, but also knowing the nature of fire and what fire does as a force that destroys to rebuild. And I didn't sleep much last night with regards to that current situation and holding prayer space for all the people involved. And just wondering at this time in our civilization and in, our societies at the moment, where we are struggling with natural forces, and how those natural forces, for example, in England at the moment, I know they've had persistent rain, and some places have had extreme heat. So, what the elemental force within that cultural context is showing or trying to create, whether we believe that's man-made or that it's a natural force, what is that actually showing about that collective? And so this has come up because in my own Jungian studies, I'm doing like society and individual and looking at cultural contexts and societal contexts and how that affects us all. It has imprints on us. We create the energy that is around us. And I was also feeling into the times where I was a school teacher, where, windy days, the wind would really impact the children's behavior. They would be more bustly and a little bit more ungrounded and a lot more quick and flighty. And so I always used to think, is that a result of the weather coming in, that behaviors like that, or was that a repressed behavior that created a weather front? Because I do believe that that's how we operate, and any shaman will tell you the same, like that the weather and ourselves is one force working together. There are times that Mother Nature overpowers for sure, but there is this kind of connected movement with our whole environment that we can't ignore. So I just wanted to put that processing out into your realm, so that maybe some insight into you, the environment that you're living in, and what's happening in that environment, which may be connected to behavior or, our unconscious content that is trying to come through. And also just working within the realms of the elements as a way to go deeper inside yourself, to be more self-realized, more self-knowledgeable about how we are operating, how our behavior is, and how that connects with the outer world. So just wanted to leave it there. There's so much other stuff that I could talk about at the moment, but I'm going to just feed you small bits at a time. If you would like to eat it up, that's up to you. You can take this or leave it, but I definitely think it's worth a sit down and a cup of tea reflecting on the elements within you. So, whatever you're doing today, I wish you love and blessings. And may we offer prayers to all those around the world that are suffering or in the chaos of elements at the moment. Blessings to you all.